Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel and to a new 1 hour crafting video. So today we're going to be creating a super cute Easter album, and I'm going to be using one of my own digital collections. So this collection is called Little Bunny, and it is a collection that I designed last year for Easter. So now I am working on a new collection for Easter for Patreon, which is going to be releasing on April, I want to say 1st, but it might be the 2nd. But today I just wanted to start crafting for Easter, create something very springy. I mean, the weather is just absolutely beautiful. Flowers are blooming, and I just can't wait to create many projects using different Easter collections. So as you can see here, we have some background pages that coordinate with the collection as well. So I'm gonna link this below if you guys want to use the same collection that I am using, but of course you can use any papers that you have on your stash to create this cute mini album that we are gonna be making. So I wanted to make a kind of like a slim book, and for that we're gonna be using some chipboard. So I will also be adding on the description box a link to the cutting guide for this project. So if you want to cut your pieces ahead, you can go ahead, download the PDF from my website, and now we can get crafting together. So for the chipboard, I have two pieces here that are 5 by 8.5. So this is going to be the base for our book. It's going to be compact, it's going to be small. I'm going to be traveling for Easter, so I wanted to have something ready for on the go to kind of be doing a little bit of like journaling slash adding pictures as well. So two pieces of 5 by 8.5, and one piece that is going to be 2 inches by 8.5. And then for this book, we're going to be using lightweight and heavyweight. So lightweight is 65-pound cardstock, and heavyweight is 110. So I'm going to just use 2 pieces here, and we are going to glue these together and just join the 2 pieces to start doing the binding for this book. So I'm super excited to see how this is gonna come out. I have some ideas, but I'm always changing the plan as I craft along here on this 1 hour crafting videos. But I'm going to just join these 2 together, and then we're gonna be adding these pieces down. So just a quick reminder, if you are part of my channel members, this Saturday we're gonna be having a live class, so I'm gonna have that video link reminder. So if you're part of the online classroom, we do a live class once a month. I couldn't do it last month because we have been pretty busy with volleyball season, and we were traveling every weekend, and this month we are still traveling every weekend. Even for Easter we're gonna be on a tournament, but we're gonna be on the LA area, and I'm gonna go visit my cousins in San Diego for Easter, so it works out pretty good for us. But yeah, so this weekend, this Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're gonna have our live class for members. So if you're not a member of the online classroom and you would like to join the crafty fun, just select the join option on, under each video. I think you can see something that says join, and then you can read there the different membership levels. So this will be the online classroom, and so yeah, so super excited for that. And I also recently did a technique video. So again, if you're part of the membership, check your technique video, because on that video I actually created some of the pages that we are going to be using. You don't have to make it ahead, but I will still recreate how to make the base page. But yeah, so if you want to kind of get a head start, everyone who has access to the online classroom also has access to all of the technique videos and bonus tutorials and all the videos before that. So yeah, so I am excited to craft life with you guys after what seems like a long break. So what I'm doing here is I'm just wrapping this up, and now we're just gonna score here on the bending lines. Okay, so right there, and then we're gonna do the same over on this side. So I'm gonna remove the tape and just press down, and we're going to score and then go around the corner here for the chipboard, and then we're just going to fold and press down, and then we're going to add this other piece of tape, and then just finish folding this one, and then we're going to do the same here. So make sure you score around the chipboard here to really have a good corner, and then we're going to press and press down and add the tape. Okay, so there we go. So now we are just going to take this out, fold and press down. So that is going to be the base, the binding here, and then I'm going to cut another piece. This is also going to be that lightweight cardstock, and we are going to just cut this piece here. I'm gonna do 5 by 8.5. Okay, and let's move this out, and then we're going to glue this piece down here on the spine, and then you want to add some glue on the bending lines there as well. And we're just gonna place this down. Now this will be the same size as the cover, so make sure it's flush right there on the top and bottom. Now I'm just going to press down. Okay, we're gonna give this a minute to dry. And so yeah, so let me know, what have you been up to? What have you been crafting this week? I would love to read it on the chat here, or read it in the comments later on, so you can, if you are watching this as it premieres, we can be kind of interacting there in the chat. Or if you're watching this later, you can just leave a comment. What have you been crafting? Are you doing anything special for Easter? And what projects would you like to see next on the 1 hour crafting series? I have been working on 3 different projects, and so you guys are gonna be seeing a few books come out kind of close to each other, because I had to stop because I was waiting on magnets. So on the meantime, I was, you know, crafting on the next project as I was waiting for my magnets to finish up, you know. And it's sometimes it happens like that. I'm waiting for something, so you know, instead of not doing anything, I start with the next project, and then next thing you know, I have 3 different things going on. So I am right now editing, uploading. One is a project for Patreon, one is the class for the February box for the subscription box. So I'm catching up with the February box so I can start with the March box. Hopefully before March is over. It's coming quick, you guys. Okay, so we have this, our base and protected spine inside. And now we're gonna start working on the inside of the book. So I'm going to switch to my heavyweight cardstock here. Okay, so let's bring this out, and here we go. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch here and just kind of have this ready. Let's put this over here. Okay, so it's always a challenge to be able to not make a mess while I craft. All right, so we are going to, oh, I think this is also, hold on, this is also the lightweight. So I need to grab the heavyweight. Oh, it's over here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this is the heavyweight, so that's what you want. So this is 110-pound cardstock, and my cardstock, I always get it from Michaels, which is the Recollections brand. And so yeah, I get that question a lot, so that's where I get it. And okay, so now let's get into this page here. So I'm actually gonna keep these at 11 by 8.5, and I'm going to score this piece here along the 11 inches. We're going to score at 4 3/4, and then we're going to score at 9.5. Okay, and then we're gonna fold these along the score line here, and then we're gonna fold this piece there as well, and then we're going to cut another piece here, and then this one is going to be 4 3/4 by 8.5, and I'm just gonna use this leftover as a hinge and just connect the two here. Okay, so that goes like this. Then we're going to cut another piece, and this is going to be 5 3/4. Let's go like that, and I'm gonna do this by 5.5. Okay, 5 3/4 by 5.5, and we're going to score along the 5 3/4 at 1/2 inch, at 5 1/4, and along the 5.5 we're going to score at 1/2 inch, and then we're just gonna cut and fold and press down, and there we go. And now this is going to be a pocket, so we're gonna put this one right on top, on the front facing page, and we're just gonna add the glue. Okay, and place this right there on top, and then press down, press down, press down. So we have a large pocket there, and then we are going to do or cut two other, let's bring this here. So two other pieces, and these are going to be 4.5. I'm gonna do this by 7.5. Okay, so just two of those, and we are going to score along the 7.5 at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score and score, and then we're going to fold, and now we are going to bring this back open your accordion folds and add these pieces along the top. Okay, so we're gonna place that, and then you want to center it and put it, place this one right here. Okay, and press down. Okay, so press down, and now all of this is gonna close like that. So this will open and this will open. So even though we're using a narrow, slim format, I still want to have this kind of like display of pictures in a larger scale. So I think we can start adding paper as we go for this project. So I am just going to select one of these. So when I print my cardstock, I print this on 65-pound cardstock, which is the same cardstock that I used to do the binding of the book. So we're gonna cut these at 4.5, and this is going to be by 4 3/4. And then we're gonna put this cute bunny here. Okay, so you're gonna go right there, and then I can even use maybe this to put it on the top, or we can use this little leftover piece here as well. But I think I'm just gonna cut this, and we're gonna cut this at 4.5, and then this is by about 3 3/4. I'm just using my leftover, and so we can put that right here. Okay, so just gonna add that there, and then we're going to glue this piece on the inside front cover, or back cover, sorry. So let's add the glue. Okay, and then we're gonna put these right there like that. So I'm just centering these within my page space, but up and down it should be level to the top and bottom. Okay, so now press down, and that's gonna open up like that. I won't be adding the paper on every page to save a little time, but I will do a final look on a separate video probably. Okay, so now let's work on the first official page. So I'm going to just start with this piece here. Again, this is going to be 8.5 by 11, and we are going to score at 3/4. Actually, no, let's do 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're gonna score at 1/2 inch, and we're going to score at 1. Oops. Okay, so you're gonna score at 1/2 inch and at 1, and then we're going to score at 5.5. Okay, 5.5, and then, so let's see here, and then I'm going to score at 10. So making another accordion fold page here. So we're going to, let me repeat that. So it's 1/2, 1, 5.5, and 10. And then we are going to fold this here as, again, as an accordion fold. So we have this hinge, and then the other side we're just gonna fold and fold here along the score line. So this is going to be the section that we're gonna glue down to the page, and then this is going to open up like that as well. So for this page, I don't want this piece, so I'm just gonna cut that out. Okay, so we are going to cut these. So this whole piece is gonna measure 10 inches here. Okay, and then again, this is going to fold and fold. Now, when we open this up, I want to add in there a few options. So we are going to cut these here at 6.5 by 4.25, and we're going to do 3 of those. So 4.25 by 6.5, and we're going to score along the 6.5. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. So let's bring this here, score on this side. Okay, so score at 1/2 inch, and again score at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to fold along the score line. So another thing that I want to do for this book, which is probably gonna be a bit ambitious, is I want most of my pictures to be a 4x6 format here. So a lot of these pictures are gonna be just an easy print and glue, and we don't have to deal too much with the cropping and editing, and sometimes it takes a little too much time. So trying to have easy layouts for easy picture placing. So as you can see, I placed this one along the top. Now I'm gonna put this one next to or below that one, so creating a waterfall. So we have 2, and I'm gonna do this one here too. Okay, but I don't want to go all the way down because I don't want to add too much bulk here. So it's gonna be these 3 pieces, 1, 2, and 3, and then this is going to close up like that. Now if you would like these to be more even, you can add probably 2 more here, but I think this is fine. And then I'm going to do one, let's bring this here, 1 more piece, whoops, and then we're going to cut these at 4, let's do 5. Okay, and I'm gonna do this by 6.25. So 5 by 6.25, and we're going to score along the 5 inches at 1/2 inch, and then we're just gonna fold, and I'm going to put this page right here on this flap right there. Okay, so that's gonna go right on top. So we're gonna add the glue and place that here. Okay, and then press down. So now again, another large area for picture. This will open up, and what I like about this is once you add the paper, we're gonna have a little bit of layering, so it's gonna look really cute. So let's add paper. We could add a magnet here also. So the magnets that I use are 10 by 1 millimeter magnets. They're these tiny magnets. Usually they work pretty well. Sometimes you have to double on the magnets, but for the most part, unless I'm adding a really large heavy page, I will put 2. For this one, I'm just gonna put 1 right here, and then close this up, and then press on the tape. Okay, so for this page, I am going to use one of my background pages. So let's see, I have that one. Okay, this one's perfect. I was looking for something more on the blue side to match with the piece that we just added. Actually, this will probably be better on the back. Anyway, so I'm just gonna use this other one and I'll save that one for the back. But we're gonna cut these at 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, and then this will be added here on the back. So add the glue and place that here. Okay, there we go. And then for the front, let's add a design. Oh, what a perfect what a perfect page here. This one is so cute. Okay, so we're gonna cut this little guy to fit right there. So again, this is going to be 4 1/4. This is going to be by 6. And now we have our cute little bunny there at the center. To be quite honest, I have so many Easter pictures I haven't documented yet, and you don't have to wait for Easter season to document your memories, but it is definitely a great motivation to make this, you know, I find these quick projects like the 1 hour crafting more simple, more manageable, not just to create but also to add pictures, because I have other Easter books that just have too many pages and I don't have that many pictures, but I do have some. So this will be an easy way to add some of those past pictures that I have. Okay, so now that is gonna be the front. Super cute. I didn't add paper here. To be quite honest, I'll probably continue adding to my waterfall here. But okay, so now we're just gonna move to the back. And for this back page, I'm gonna keep this simple, but I'm gonna do 2 pieces at 4 1/2 by 8 1/2. Okay, so let's move that. 4 1/2 by 8 1/2, and we are going to score along the 8 1/2 at 1/2 inch. So I'm just scoring on this side, fold and fold. And now we are going to add these 2 pieces here. So I'm gonna add these along the top, press down, open that up, and we're going to add this one along the bottom here. And there we go, press down. Okay, so now this is gonna close here on top. I don't think you will need a magnet for this, but you're welcome to add one there. And I'm going to cut my page here, one of my background pieces. This is going to be 4 1/4 by 7 3/4 there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right there like that. So let's add glue and place that here, and then I will probably print another one of the same to put on this here, because this will be, it's not big enough. Okay, and that is gonna be this page. I'm gonna start adding these as we go to make this even faster. So I always like to start from the back to the front when I add the pages. So I'm going to add my glue on this 1/2 inch section. Okay, and we're going to glue this next to that bending line. So we have here the bending score line, so you want to give that a little space and then glue this down here. So press down, and there we go. That is gonna be this cute little page here, and a lot of room for pictures also. So now we're gonna move to the next one. So now for this page, we're gonna cut one piece of cardstock at 5.5 by 8.5, and we are going to score this piece at 1/2 inch and at 1.25. Okay, and we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so 1/2 inch and 1.25. Then we are going to cut two pieces, and these are going to be 5.25 by 1. So I'm going to just use some of my scrap pieces here. Just want some of these on heavy weights. Okay, so we're going to cut these at 5.25 by 1. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 inches and 1 inch, so I have 2 of those, and then we're going to need 2 pieces. I'm gonna cut this, and this is going to be 3/4, so you're gonna cut this one at 3/4 inches by 3 inches. Okay, so you're gonna need 2, so I'm cutting this at 6 and then at 3. Okay, and we're going to score these pieces here. So we're gonna score the 5.25 piece at 1/2 inch and at 4 3/4, and we're going to do the same, 1/2 inch and 4 3/4. And then the little pieces we're going to score at 1 1/8 and 2 1/4. Okay, along the 3 inches here. And then we're going to fold this piece. So we're just gonna fold and make these loops. Okay, so I am going to add my glue here, fold, and then we're gonna pass these through these little belt pieces here. So make sure that it fits. You have to be right at once. So mine's a little too big, so I'm going to just take out a tiny bit here. So you do want to make sure that it is exactly 1 inch and not bigger than that. Okay, so we're gonna pass that through, and this one is fine, and then we're gonna fold these 1/2 inches back. Now I'm going to cut 2 other pages, and these are going to be 8.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to put this here at 4 1/4, and this is by 8.5, and I'm going to do, let me take this out. I'm going to do one more. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 8.5. And now we're gonna bring back our page, and I want the score lines to be on the left side, but we're gonna fold them back and add the little belt and loop pieces. So we're gonna add the glue here and here, and line this up to the bottom, or actually I'm leaving a little space to the bottom here. Okay, so we're just gonna put that right there. Then we're going to, once we have this added, we're gonna push this loop all the way to the left side and add one of our big pieces on top. So you want to add glue to that loop. Make sure it's pushed to the left side, and then we're going to just line these to the back page. Press down and do this again. So I'm going to add the new belt and loop down here, same place. Okay, and then press down. Then we're gonna push this all the way to the left, add glue, and add this new page right there. So we're creating this sliding page, and so when you pull this out, this is going to become again a large layout here for pictures. So now we're going to push all of these back in place. That is going to be the front, and then for the back I am going to do two pieces. These are going to be 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 4 1/2, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 4 1/2. Okay, so we're gonna score at 1/2 inch along the 4 1/2 and fold and fold, and then we're just going to put these on the sides. So we're gonna do one up here on the left, and then this other one I am going to just glue this one here. Okay, and then press down and press down. So this is going to open and open, and then we're gonna close and close, and that is gonna be our second signatures, our middle page here. So we want to add magnets to make sure these are not gonna be opening or kind of like wiggly like that. So I'm gonna add a magnet here on the center, and then I'm gonna close these and add a magnet here on the center also. So I'm gonna add my tape right there, and then I'm gonna close this page and add another magnet here at the center, and there we go. So now we're just gonna add our paper. So let's pick a new design. I think this one is so cute, so we might do that. And then for the back, we can probably use this one for the back. So let's go ahead and cut these. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the front. I want to use this image, so we're gonna cut this at 4 by 8 1/4, and I'm gonna try to center these cute little bunnies. So 4, there we go, by 8 1/4, and we're just gonna glue this page here. Okay, so that is gonna go there. So cute. And then you can use this leftover and just kind of put that one on the next page. So I'm going to cut these again at 4 by 8 1/4. Okay. And then you can print another one and just add it here, and I'll probably print the same, that way we have the grass just kind of going along. Although now that I think about it, the grass is going to be kind of hidden here a little bit. but that's okay. So we're gonna put that. Maybe I can put the grass on top there. Okay, well, that requires too much thinking, so I might just print another one and glue the grass on top on this 1 inch here. Let's see how detailed we want to be with this, but for now I'm just gonna glue this back there. Love the pastel colors. And then you add one more right there, but then these are gonna magnetize. Then we're going to turn this to the back, and I'm going to add these here. So we're going to cut these at 3 3/4, so I might have to try to center this 3 3/4 here by 4. Okay, so I'm gonna do this by 4 and this by 4, and then we can glue these down, and then you can add a magnet back there as well. So I'm just gonna add this, and then I'm going to add this. And I have to say, there's something really special about working with my own collection, because you know, from designing it and doing the placement and kind of picturing how I wanted it to look. And this is the second project. I do have a full mini album using this collection. I'll try to link it below also, but you know, I'm using this for the second time here, and it just feels kind of like remembering I designed this collection about a year ago. This was for last year, and so just kind of going back to that. I went ahead and cut these. We can either put it here. It's a little narrow for that, but we can, I was thinking we can probably even put it, because it matches the same background, we can use that one here. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put that right there. Yeah, so I'm gonna glue these down, and I'm going to place that right there. Okay, and there we go. And so now we're gonna add this one. So we're gonna add glue to this 1/2 inch section, and we're gonna glue this right next to that other page. So this is gonna be right next to it here, and press down. Look at that, so cute. And these big girls over here doing their tea party. Okay, so now we're gonna work on this next page. So for this page, we're going to cut one piece. This is going to be 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score along the 5.5 at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and then we're going to fold along the score lines right here. Then we are going to cut another piece. Whoops. And this one is going to be 4.5 by 8.5, and we're going to attach that page here using a brad, but I'm going to pick a design here. I'm just gonna cut this. I'm just gonna bring one out, and this one. Okay, so we're gonna bring these two sections here, and I am going to cut this little bunny. So cute. We're gonna cut this at 4.25, and I'm gonna try to center the image. So 4.25, by 8.25. So just gonna do that here. Okay, and I'm going to glue these on the page that we haven't added yet. Oh, and before you glue it, you want to add a magnet along the top. So we're gonna add a magnet on the top center, and then we're going to glue this page down. Okay, so we are going to have these kind of ready to go. Now this piece I am going to also cut at 4.25 by 8.25. Okay, and we are going to add this page here, but I'm going to add one more layout before I glue that down. So let's go ahead and cut a page at 4.25 by 6.75. Okay, and we're going to score along the 6.75 at 1/2 inch and fold. And now we're gonna bring back our page. We're going to add this along the top. Okay, so make sure you have your score lines to the left side, and we're gonna place this along the top, press down. Now we're gonna open this up and we're gonna glue this page here. So let's glue this right there like that. So then we're going to use a brad. So I'm just gonna pick a pink brad here, and we are going to add this on top with the brad. So I'm going to maybe put the brad here on the corner. So I'm just gonna poke a hole using this. I'm gonna put it right over here, and be careful with your fingers on the back. Okay, and we're gonna add the brad right there, and now on the back we are just going to close this brad here. Okay, and now this is going to spin, and then this is going to open and spin back in place. And we have that magnet here on the back of the page, so we are just going to add that magnet, and we're going to put the tape facing up. Oops, sorry about that. We're going to put the tape facing up, and then we're going to turn this back, and then we're going to spin and line this up. Okay, so now this magnet is going to be back here, and that's gonna spin and stay in place. And then I can probably use this page, and we only need a piece that is going to be 4 by 6 for that page here. So I'm gonna do 4 by 6, and you can just simply put a picture, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this down here. So add my glue, place this down, and then we're gonna spin, and that's gonna be that page. So super easy, but so cute, and then you have space there for a picture. Now for this back section, I'm going to cut another piece here, and this is going to be 5 by 8.5, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to score, fold, and we are going to add this piece here. So we have that brad, so we can just move it there, or you can glue on top. That should be fine too. But I'm going to add my glue and place this piece right here like that. Press down and press down. And then for the inside, I'm going to cut another page, and this is going to be 4.5 by 9.5, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch here, and then we're gonna do 1/2 inch here, and cut the corners, fold along the score lines, fold and fold, and then we're going to open these up and add these as a pocket here on top. Okay, so that's gonna go right there, so you're gonna have a little opening, and we're gonna add the glue and add the glue here and place this down. Okay, and then just press and press and down, and then you can add a magnet there again if you want to. And then we're just going to add a design. So I think I am going to maybe use this one, or we can use this one here. And because this is going to go next to this page, I kind of want to see, I mean they both match, but I'm going to use the one that has the grass to kind of have a nice layout in there. So we're just going to cut this at 8.25 by 4.25. So 4.25, and then by 8.25, and we're going to glue this right here on this page. Okay, and there we go. And now we are going to add this last, or I guess this will be the first page, down here. So on the cutting guide, if you're following along, and I did explain in there, I am placing the measurements as we are crafting so you can follow along with the video. But the pages kind of go from 5/6 to 3/4 to 1/2. But if you're creating that with the video, I hope it makes sense, because that way you don't have to kind of jump from page to page to do this. And look at that, so cute. All the pages coordinate and match. And now we're just gonna be doing the quick layout for the inside front cover. So we are going to cut this piece. I'm gonna do 4 3/4 by 8.5. And before we glue that page, we're going to cut 2 pieces at 5 by 8.5. And these 2 we are going to score at 1/2 inch, okay, along the 5 inches, and then just fold along the score lines, fold, and we are going to add those 2 pieces here, so 1 on each side. I'm gonna keep this one pretty simple because We are right there with the timer, almost an hour here. I mean, you don't have to rush your project. It's always just meant to be a relaxing thing, and knowing that you can get it done within an hour. You can of course take breaks. I actually had to take a little break because my phone was dying and I had to charge it. So I also had to clean some storage to be able to continue. So you will see that on the video. But yeah, so I'm going to use this page because that coordinates with that, and I'm just gonna have to cut it a little bit here. So we are going to cut these at 4¼ so maybe I'll go right here. Okay, so 4¼ by 8¼ and I'm going to put that right on this side, and then you will probably need a magnet to keep this close. So we're just gonna put that here for now. Oh, this needs to be smaller. There we go. Okay, so that, there we go. And then I'm going to use the other piece probably here, but I need to add a magnet, so I won't be doing that right now. What I do want to add over at the center of this layout is maybe just a belly band. So I'm going to cut this at 5¾ and I'm gonna do this by 4, and then we are going to score along the 5¾ we're gonna score at 1/2 inch here, okay, and at 5¼ the other side, and then just folds and folds, and then you should be able to fit this right at the center, but make sure that you can still fold these two pieces, and I kind of figure we will have a little friction there, so I'm just gonna reduce one of these 1/2 inches. I'm actually gonna do on one side, I'm gonna do 5/8, okay, so we're gonna score at 5/8 on one side. Okay, so we are not so close to these folding lines, and we're just gonna add this belly band and place that at the center. And there we go. Press down, press and down. Okay, so now we're gonna close, and we're going to glue these down to the inside front cover. So we're just gonna add the glue and place this right here. Okay, so press down, open this up, press down, and press down here. And there we go. So that is gonna be all of our pages, and now the last thing we're just gonna do is add our design paper on the outside of the book. So I was saving, and let me show you what pages I have left. And again, you can print and reprint as many times as you like when you're working with digital paper, but I really love this cute little bunny here, so sweet, and that's gonna be the perfect opening for this Easter book. So I'm going to cut these at 4¾ by 8¼ that's gonna be the front. Then I'm going to use this one for the back. So again, 4¾ by 8.25. Okay, so let's glue this down. I'm gonna add this, and we're going to glue the back. Oh, why does this look a little small? I think my measurement, it's bigger than 5 inches, my chipboard, but that's okay. Right? Yeah, my chipboard is about 5.25 for some reason. It's not exactly 5 inches, but this will do. And I'm gonna add this one here, and I'm just gonna keep it pretty plain and simple like this. Up on the top here you have a place to add a title. Maybe you can add a little picture there also. And then I think for the spine I'm gonna use these flowers here. So the spine is going to be 1 3/4. So I'm gonna cut this here, 1 3. I kind of want these flowers, so I'm gonna try to get those. Okay, and then by 8.25. And then another tip is you can use any of these images on the background pages. Like we have this sweet little bunny reading a book. You can cut these and use this as ephemera. That's one of the reasons why I make my backgrounds big, so you can cut these little bunnies, use as ephemera. Like all of your scrap pieces, you should use those little images and just put them throughout your book pages. Okay, and we're gonna add that right here, and I'm just gonna clean my desk and we're gonna do one quick final walkthrough. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the complete book or complete construction. Or still I need to add paper to my pages and maybe decorate the cover a little bit more. But yeah, so this is the Little Bunny collection. This is the slim album, and let's open this up. So here we have a double opening section. These belly bands are perfect to put if you receive Easter cards from your family, or you want to keep something, maybe if you went to the church that day and you get those, you know, the little papers they give you, you can put that here. Then this is a pinning page, and then this opens up, so cute place for 4x6 pictures there. On the back, this opens to the side, and then this is a pocket there as well. Then we have the double sliding page, which of course we still need to finish, but again, cute places for pictures. Back here, this opens and opens. This page opens like this, and it also opens like that, and we have a waterfall that you can add 4x6 pictures without trimming too much. That was one of the goals for this book. And then this opens up and down, large layouts. Here we have a little pocket as well, and then this whole thing expands, and then these two open up, and then of course you also have this back section there as well. So that is our Little Bunny slim mini album. Again, cutting guide available, digital collection available, and if you really love this collection and you want to check out the other mini album that I did using this collection, I'm gonna have it linked below. I'll try to find the video, and also in the video class for that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a longer one. If you are a member to my YouTube channel, remember we have a live class this Saturday, so I will be seeing you there. And thank you so much for all your love, for all your support to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.
Lines are busting out the door, Christmas songs in every store.